We'll start with some teaching slides and I'll share my screen here. So the question of what is open intelligence? And it's always powerful to settle in that way. So what is open intelligence? When we just stop thinking for a moment, what remains? An alertness, clarity, and openness, the power to know, a spacious open intelligence that is naturally present. And obviously, we have thoughts appear again and recognize that the same open intelligence that is equally present with thoughts is equally present without thoughts. So it's not our goal to stop thinking and have no thoughts or no emotions or certain emotions. It's simply in this moment recognizing, and it's often easier when we just stop thinking for a moment. There's a natural presence, clarity, open intelligence. But then when the thoughts come, this presence, this openness, open intelligence is naturally available, naturally there, inseparably there. And that becomes more and more obvious by taking short moments. And yeah, there's just understanding that there are two approaches of how we use our mind. One being obviously that we focused all our energy on our thoughts, emotions, and sensations. Yeah, we call those data in the teaching just for the simplicity. But really, it's all our thoughts, emotions, and sensations. Anything we could describe is the data. And the focus is usually how are we feeling, what are we feeling, how are we experiencing things, what are we thinking, and describing everything. And in that way, there's the focus on the content of mind rather than on the second approach, resting as open intelligence, where the focus is placed on the nature of mind, open intelligence. And obviously, data and open intelligence are not opposite things, but that becomes more and more obvious. It's more like how we use our mind. Is it only to describe and figure things out and just focused on the content? Or are we recognizing open intelligence in the midst of everything? And then we have the crystal ball as a powerful metaphor, because open intelligence is something about us that is always stable, clear, like a crystal ball, indestructible, just like a crystal ball is unaffected by whatever images appear. The nature of mind, open intelligence, remains lucid and clear regardless of data, regardless of thoughts, emotions, and sensations that arise within it. And that becomes clear more and more in our direct experience, recognizing open intelligence, that the way we've given data or our thoughts and emotions the power to affect us, it's that somehow loses its power and intensity. We becomes more and more obvious that there's an indestructible essence, a quality that is always present, that isn't affected by whatever appears. Yeah, and so that's the choice we recognize when we start taking short moments, that we either focus on the content of mind or on open intelligence. Yeah. So in open intelligence, thoughts and emotions vanish naturally, leaving no trace, like reflections in a crystal ball. The crystal ball is indestructible regardless of what appears within it. So that's see, the crystal ball has positive, negative, neutral images, and all of that appears. And also vanishes. It comes self-release. There's a appearing and the vanishing of all our thoughts and emotions. It's a constant coming, going, arising, disappearing. And but there's something that is the essence and constant about that all, that is ultimately reliable. Mm. Yeah, it's open intelligence. Yeah, maybe.
All thoughts and emotions are recognized as the dynamic energy of open intelligence. That's the single simple practice in open intelligence recognition. There is nothing else to do. The crystal ball-like nature of mind is always present, has always been present, will always be present. So there is nothing we need to do about the data to arrive at open intelligence or a better version of open intelligence. And even better, it isn't even doing anything. It's just open intelligence recognizing itself instead of getting distracted by the data. Open intelligence and data are inseparable, like the sky and the color blue. It's a powerful metaphor. The most important choice we have. We choose the way we describe everything. The tension builds. No, dot, dot, dot. I thought there were maybe more slides about that. Sorry. If you plant open intelligence seeds, an unending field of open intelligence will grow. If you plant data naming seeds, a ceaseless field of data will grow. So that's the most important choice we have is what we do in each moment as open intelligence. Do we lose ourselves in the countless images that appear in that basic space of open intelligence? Or do we recognize ourselves as we are, regardless of what arises? And in that recognition of our true nature as open intelligence amidst everything, then whatever appears poses no threat. It still might feel uncomfortable or not nice, like I prefer espresso over tea, but it's clear in every moment that no data will make us whole and complete, and that no data, whether it's the most sublime thought or the worst thought we've ever thought, can leave or mark open intelligence in any way different than when it came into our mind. It is powerful to gain confidence in open intelligence through short moments of open intelligence. This is freedom in immediate perception of the flow of data with no need to change them in any way. This gives us complete perceptual openness within all experience. Yeah, these lines are so powerful. Freedom in immediate perception, the freedom we've been looking for, is already here in every perception. Every perception self-releases, and there is complete freedom in it. Similarly, in complete perceptual openness within all experience, we recognize that spacious ground of being that is always already here. So complete perceptual openness is also powerful as a line, at least it has been for me, because it shows that it isn't about concentration. You know, single-pointed concentration has been one of my attempts to arrive at a better version of open intelligence in the past, and really like training my mind to keep still, basically, and hoping that once I'm completely still and have single-pointed attention at all times, that that will be the final destination. And here we see complete perceptual openness, right? We can be just completely at ease and allow that complete perceptual openness within all experience, and in that completely rest deeply, relaxing mind and body, and realize there is nothing to do. whether attention is scattered across different data or hangs on to a specific datum for a long time, the same true nature is present.
There's some repeated slides. Huh? Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Okay, rest naturally like you have just completed a hard task. Just sitting there resting. We don't have to be anywhere special or hold the body in any special position. We don't have to do anything. All we do is rest naturally as open intelligence. Take a short moment of open intelligence. Repeat it many times. And as we do so, the confidence in open intelligence increases over time. That makes again clear that we don't need to have any kind of special data in place, basically, special feeling, thought or no thought, or focused attention. Nothing needs to be in place for open intelligence to become obvious. It's everything that occurs is the dynamic energy of open intelligence. And in that way, there's the ease of being and openness always naturally present and accessible in whatever is occurring. So we could be meditating if we like that. And it's sometimes nice to relax in a meditation or in taking a walk and however we enjoy that and we take short moments or we are very busy, have lots of things to do, huge to-do lists and lots of meetings, and then there is an, a way to rest naturally in the midst of those kinds of appearances where there's a resting naturally occurring at the basis or inseparably of all of that. So no special position, nothing we have to do for open intelligence to be naturally present. And these short moments are often shared as to repeat them many times, because when we hold on to a short moment, then there is the tendency to make it into something. But that happens naturally, and then we recognize that, oh, I don't really actually need to keep in place that I feel easeful, for example, even though we hear the ease of being and trying to hold on to ease. But it's we can just take short moments without even looking at how it looks and feels. So often we say like the quantity is more important than the quality of the short moment. And the powerful recognition is, even though open intelligence is innate, we have to acknowledge it because it has gone unnoticed. And that's the choice we have in every moment. Because when we don't know about open intelligence, all there is data, obviously. And so we have to deal with the ups and downs of life. Once introduced to open intelligence, it's habitual to just find open intelligence in data. So, and it is in data, but it's in all data, not only in specific data. It's naturally present as the basis of everything. But only knowing that it's innate and that we don't need to cultivate it is already a relief. And then knowing that it's becomes naturally obvious by acknowledging it, because it's something that is innate to us, not something we need to actually work on or build up. So that brings more and more confidence and trust that it's there. And also hearing each other and hearing just words like this make it more obvious. Yeah, guess we could do one more here. Short moment of uncontrived open intelligence, launch continuous, unending open intelligence. Initially, open intelligence may be momentary and occasional. We might not even feel like we know what open intelligence is, so we think, what was it again? So, what is this short moment? So we think about it, it's natural to have those kinds of thoughts. But however, the power of short moments, by the power of short moments, open intelligence grows increasingly obvious. And its spontaneous presence is increasingly obvious. Yeah, just by coming to meetings like this or reading books and hearing it, it becomes obvious. And then there's more and more confidence. Like we shared, like open intelligence always has been present, even though we might have not noticed it, not known about it, or focused maybe a whole week on all kinds of challenging data streams, and then you recognize open intelligence, and then you see, oh, it was actually present all along, and um, and then you take short moments of uncontrived is emphasized just to not make it into something. So these are the means to inexhaustibly expand open intelligence within all data and all situations of one's own personal life. And some of you are going through the empowerment, and that is like a specific way to bring open intelligence, so to speak, or make it obvious in all relationships and circumstances of life in a very personal way. Okay, I guess we'll pause here for today so we can have further shares and questions. Nice to see everyone. Be great. If anyone has a question or would like to share how it's going with the short moments, or with the 12 empowerments. Nice to see some of you, all of you, but I think some weren't here for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, Tom, please. I saw you raised your hand.
Yes. Yes, I would just like to share how it's going. Yeah, initially I was very much on the um, trying to understand the whole process and really yeah I was really in the trying to understand it, and I have noticed now that by just taking short moments, having a call with Jochen, and actually trying to take short moments, it gives me yeah a little more rest than I used to have. Um, I'm I'm having a lot of data to considering my physical health, and I used to worry about that quite a lot. And I noticed that when I'm able to take a short moment, that yeah, the problems don't go away, but there seems to be more rest. So that's really uh, yeah a nice I guess a nice achievement, or yeah. And it's nice to notice that there's a certain calmness in me, and it was nice to hear that my wife, who's also in the community, yeah, she said to me, like, yeah, I see there is a certain change in you, so it's really, um, I'm really grateful to be in the community, and yeah, be part of this, and um, yeah, that's actually what I wanted to share. So I'm really grateful, and uh, yeah, that's actually it for
Yeah,
now.
it's wonderful. Yes, that's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Yes, wonderful. Mm. Yes, Paul.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm about to explode here today. Uh, I'm on Empowerment 11. Uh, I'll insert here. I hope everyone is involved in this. It's truly life-changing for me. Uh, I didn't think it could get better I took each step, but each one is more mind-blowing than the one before. I'm on 11 this morning, and I'm reading this. everything and everyone whatsoever is the display of primordial purity, spontaneous presence, and dynamic energy of open intelligence like a rainbow in the sky. I that that's something. Everything and everyone whatsoever is the display of primordial purity, open intelligence. If that's true, wow. I mean, that's really something to know and to understand. I remember reading in Candace's book Enlightened Life on page 128, probably a year ago. This is the quote from the book. You are an exalted manifestation of open intelligence's primordial purity. You, everyone I'm looking at on this monitor right now, each of you are an exalted manifestation of open intelligence's primordial purity. That's really something. And my closing thought this morning as I meditated or thought about this, these things are peak pronouncements or utterly deceptive lie. There's no choice in the matter. These things are true, or I'm being deceived beyond all deception. And data streams start up immediately about the possibility of deception. But the instinctive recognition is true, and this is very exciting, very transformative, potential for me, potential for the world to embrace this and run with it. My last thought and question, I have, Jochen has been uh, um, patient and kind beyond words with me for quite a time now. And I couldn't help but wonder, Jochen, this morning, what's it like to be 5 or 6 or 10 years down the road with this understanding? What's everyday life like, if I may ask that, for someone who really has grasped this and living it and experiencing it?
Hmm. Firstly, thank you so much for for sharing, and that's indeed a powerful nugget there that you quoted from Empowerment 11. I remember having Empowerments 10, 11, and 12 on my bedside table for weeks and months after the empowerments, and just reading a single line often would just reset me. um, yeah, what life is like. I mean, you know, that's so hard to describe, right? Like, because, things happen, life happens, emotions happen. Um, but there is so much stability, there is so much warmth and openness to all that. Um, there's this whole, I'm sure in your years of seeking, decades of seeking, you've come across this line that everything changes and nothing changes, and it's so what's the right word in English? Anyway, it's so often said, and it doesn't really help because you can't, encapsulate it anyway. But I think it just generally often in hindsight, like reflecting back on how would I have been in certain situations before and how am I today. So I think we're to me there in one of the books, Rinpoche calls it being optimally human or being fully human. And that's what it really feels like to me. It's actually not, even though it is so not the standard today in our culture, but it really, for me, is a fully embodied human life. So not anything that it feels otherworldly or removed, or all the ideas I had about, when I don't know, when you see a Buddha statue or what it means to rest more and more. Yeah, I often, to be truthful, I often don't even think about it. That's how normal and integrated it feels to me. I think I shared that a couple of weeks ago or so, that one of the steps for me along the way was just when I recognized, wow, I didn't take a short moment today. And yet somehow the qualities of open intelligence were present regardless. Not as something, because initially, of course, like the first moment of recognizing open intelligence was, oh my God, wow, this is this is incredible. How could I have missed this? Um, but then over time, it just becomes like a normal way of being, normal in the best meaning uh, possible. Yeah.
I hear full embodiment that says it. Thank you.
Mm. So happy to be with you on your journey, Paul. Yeah. Anybody else today who'd like to share or has a question or the empowerments are going? Bob, please.
Thanks for asking that, Paul. The last part, because I had thought about that this week too. Not that not that I expected you and Kathy to turn into the Buddha, but how was your life? And yeah, I guess the only way to say it is you're living a normal life. Of course, you've had 20 years of, of short moments, which obviously has changed you. But I was thinking about something this week. It's almost like a phenomenon to me that we could be surrounded by the energy of open intelligence, and it never disappears. It's always there. And yet, how many of us have no awareness that it is? It kind of blows my mind that well, I guess it's because we have taken our one aspect, our body, to be the ultimate, and that we have, I guess, if we were raised, you don't have children, right? You have no children, Jochen? No, no, yeah. Um, so, so I was wondering if people, and maybe some folks, um, that have studied this teaching for as long as you guys have, that have children, and do they just not, well, they're imparting the changes that have happened inside of them. That's obvious, uh, and hopefully that the children that they're raising will obviously get that energy from their folks. So I've thought about that. Would that would children be made more aware only spontaneously because their parents have been studying this teaching for so long, or would there be a part of the being the parent, and all that entails? Would that be imparted in a different way, than if you're living your life as, you have all the data and all this stuff and work and all this stuff that they have to deal with, how are they raising their children to give them a taste of this energy? It's and I thought to myself, like I started by saying how many folks out there, we don't know anything about awareness, but certain other paths have talked about it, maybe not in this way, and maybe we've gleaned from that. But there
Of
are lots
course.
of people who have no conscious awareness of how they're living from data and not from awareness. So so
I was just
do you guys know people?
kids. Yeah, we do know.
Oh,
As you know, we have a center. I was just looking for the children books, which I personally
I
love,
have
but I
them
think
too.
they're all downstairs. It's
I have them.
stacked up. But they are really nice books for kids that a team here made. And with Rinpoche for the kids. And obviously, because we have a center since almost 20 years and had gatherings along, there were families coming and are still coming in the summers, and kids that grow up. And we know, obviously, we didn't make any scientific studies on this all, but just naturally seeing children grow up. With open intelligence, not with necessarily teaching books, but just living example, being an example, without even saying one word of open intelligence. And my sister has, who also is a teacher, and she has a boy. And so it's just a joy to see. That's one example, but there are many other kids in the community, and that doesn't mean that they grow up as kids, and tantrums are part of that, and it doesn't look a certain way. But having some kids grow older and then actually even participate in the teaching if they want to, that's really wonderful to see, and I can see how that is something to have just experienced it in a certain way with the parents and the parents' way of raising a child, seeing not giving teachings, but seeing the child as basically open intelligence and seeing it as exalted rather than what is wrong. There's something that happens. Yeah. So the whole way of empowerment. Yeah, that is fun to see. But I like reading the children books because they are so simple and joyful with pictures. Oh yeah, here you have Where is Mind? Yeah. And then Find Mind. Yeah. Yeah, and then there are like stories. Also, the most important choice is in one of the books where you just which lane are you going down, the stories and or you're going that happy lane. So it's a certain way of expressing things, to deal with emotions, not to push them away, but actually to allow them to be there. Because often we say, don't cry, stop this, no, 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 no. We all hear that, heard that and hear that, and yeah. There's lots to say about it, but it's beautiful to see.
I had a patient who's I don't think the child was I don't remember if the child was my patient. It's a long time ago, and this child was crying. It was about 4 years old, in the office crying, and I had never seen this before or since that time when it happened. This lady got down on the floor at the child's level, and she was resting on her knees, and she said, in the calmest manner, tell me, do you remember what we discussed when you were upset? And he said to breathe and just be there with the breathing. And the crying just stopped. And then other people would come, be quiet, mind, do this, and be very overt and very critical of the child. And so it was a beautiful experience. I'll never forget it.
Mm.
It was
Well,
very.
thank you, yes, for sharing. Yes, Herbert.
I didn't want to talk, but speaking about children, so I know Balangsville now short woman's 14 years, and I've been on and off in contact here and there. I was intensely involved for a year or two. And the thing is, open intelligence doesn't go away because it's just what it is. Even if I made some detour in Vajrayana Buddhism and studying Dzogchen with other teachers and learned a lot about it, where Candice O'Denver got the information from, got the teaching from Garak Dorje Longchenpa. But the difference is the language he uses is amazing. So I still watch YouTube videos once a week at least. I find them on YouTube. Speaking about children, so a lot of my sons, they're 37 now, they were also involved, and also my daughters. We did some work, physical work, for some houses in Bristol, where they came and helped. And I still remember the people now, so I should remember John. Yeah, John, he sings the vibe song, isn't it? Yeah, yes. Or Celine or many others, Michelle or Sylvan, So why I'm saying that is it's really amazing, I find, So I don't want to say more. So
That's
okay.
nice.
Thank you.
It's nice. Thank you for sharing. That's nice to hear. Yeah, it doesn't matter where one goes, lives life. There's something instinctive that one never forgets. Yeah, so that's beautiful. Yes. Oh, is that Wendy? Who was saying something? Could be. Okay. Yeah, any other questions or shares how it's going with the 12 empowerments, how with short moments? Or if you've done the 12 empowerments, how it is for you now. That's always powerful to hear too. Holly, yes.
Thanks for everyone's shares. I get so much value out of these meetings. I can't even explain. It's just so awesome. Love it. So I had a question directly. I don't want to get too philosophical, but I heard Rupert Spira, he had just posted something. It was just a statement on a YouTube feed, and it said, any great teaching will eventually end with the seeker no longer seeking. And I would love to hear your take on that. Obviously, the four mainstays are so important to me because there are many, many times where I have a difficult time maybe being able to really hear the teachings and the reading or listening. And so I need to come to, being in the community and hearing everybody's shares is so rich. And I'd love to hear your perspective on that because I sometimes think, gosh, I think I have this thing going about being a seeker and that I'm almost afraid to let go of that, but that there's like a love relationship with it. And so
Yes.
I would love to hear your take on that. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Holly. Well, actually, I was thinking about that just while doing this meeting now. I thought the main what is amazing to me is that I really stopped seeking, and I loved seeking. I just loved it. I loved exploring. We were traveling to India and just exploring what is out there and what everything is and the purpose of life. Anyway, and meditation, and did all these meditation retreats. But I think this introduction and this teaching really settled something very deeply in me. And there was nothing more to look for. For me, it was like the search was over. It doesn't mean that I'm not open to what is out there, actually, because what happened is that everything that I looked at or what I had looked at before was suddenly crystal clear, and actually a joy, not in a seeking manner, but then there are beautiful texts or expressions of, or maybe seeing things where, oh, that's why I didn't get it. So, it was like kind of that kind of enjoyment. There's nothing out there, which then, because I thought, it was actually nice to just seek and look for something. And that could also, but I can see now that there's, that just that was just a nice way of, being to seek something, and still one can enjoy when one like has a love for certain cultures or wisdom teachings. Once there's an introduction to open intelligence, there's, it's a difference between that kind of seeking, looking for something, not understanding things, or really actually seeing everything and understanding everything in your own experience. In the end, it's just one's own experience. Some people like philosophizing or thinking about things. That might continue for some people. And, I like it to a certain degree as well. But it comes from a different place. So one can use maybe what one loved about the seeking still and enjoy it. But it really stops and to be something that is more than what, with open intent. So that's my experience. It's like, there's just nothing more to look for. And still, everything deepens forevermore. So I actually hear wisdom everywhere, and it's always enriching. But it isn't a seeking. It's different from the time of seeking. And I think you might see that in yourself too. But something forever deepens, because there's actually, like we say, there can't be a destination, because that would be, I don't know, Jochen, if you had something to share on that one, but I don't know how to leave that, but I actually relate to that love of seeking. Yeah.
I have many romantic ideas about it, and it was a big adventure, right? It was so connected to just like leaving job behind, leaving everything behind, getting in a van, driving to India, having everybody tell you you're crazy, and being in those rebel years and just telling everybody that we'll do it anyway. But I think what you just said is perfect. I think for me the introduction, like the first moment of really recognizing open intelligence, and then going through the empowerments, and for those who've been through empowerment, for just going through all these questions and really recognizing on yet another deeper level what that really is, open intelligence. That seeking of just seeking somewhere, something, just completely stopped, and it never came back. So from then the question only was, how can I deepen this most effectively? So what do I need to do for this to be to be permanently obvious to me? Because I knew that's like anything else would not make any sense anymore in that context, because it would just be, yeah, it, that there can't be anything else. So I deeply understand why this is called traditionally the highest teaching or the pinnacle teaching, because there there is nothing else that can come after it in a way. And yet, from like you just said, Kati, there's this unending opening. And I think that um, that striving energy that I've had all my life, initially I brought that then to this quest of how can I make this journey to deepen it most effective or productive. That was then like my last like search, if you will, like a mini search within the bigger having found it already, and to relax even that effort completely. So since then, I don't feel like I truly don't, I'm not looking for anything anymore. And I'm very happy to see other things. Like sometimes people send me things and I think, oh wow, yeah, that's a nice way of looking at it. Or, that gives me another facet of the diamond. But the diamond's there, the facets are there, and for as long as we live and probably beyond in some way, shape, or form, there will be more facets to be discovered. So I think that ease of being at the basis of it's more like a discovery, like exploring without that tension or that gnawing, yearning kind of energy behind it. I think seeking also really means how determined, one is. Like it's, like we were willing to leave everything behind, basically, right? Um, which, like today, 20 years, no, even more than 20 years later, every time I speak with my dad, it comes up you know, one way or another. He says, when you went to India, I thought you were crazy. When you came back from India, I thought you're crazy. Like, what is this stuff you're talking about? And how are you going to live life? How will you do this? How will you do that? But today, I'm really proud of you. And I'm so happy you found what makes you happy. And I have no judgment or, worry or anything. It's just great. I'm so happy you did what you did. Um, so yeah, it's definitely determination for somebody to identify as a seeker. I think, to have that be like so important because we know. I think that's really what's happening is we know. For the Matrix lovers, it's like that splinter in one's mind, and you just can't not think about it. You need to know what it is. And you need to know in your direct experience. Like, even if you read the 1,000th book about it, it wouldn't help. Somebody needs to give us that blue pill and the red pill and make us choose. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I always love that.
Thank you.
I also have another aspect, what the energy that is also such a determination. I think about also is obvious after it's like the wish to be of benefit. So there's a beneficial energy that, and then and in a practical ways how the teaching addresses that is also, and that's also 10, 11, 12 go into how can we use our energy and our strengths, gifts, and talents to be of benefit to all. And that's a beautiful exploration. That's almost like the seeking energy of finding what is that in our own life. Very practically, not even like split off from anything, just right here in the midst of who we are with our environment. Yeah. So that's. I also saw Eugene, please. Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that what Holly said about the Rupert Spira quote. I remember back in 1987, my initial teacher said the same thing. She had said that my job is to help you to a point where you do not need me anymore. Something to that effect. This is not a direct quote, but that was a constant message that was delivered again and again. And I didn't want that. I really didn't like hearing that. I really liked the idea of kind of putting the responsibility on her and letting her do the major lifting for me. And I didn't want to have the responsibility. It took years and years of I guess suffering. I'll just, there's a perfect adjective for it, just suffering, to bring me to a place where I was really so perfectly malleable to hear Candace Rinpoche say, rest imperturbably uh, as awareness. And it I was able to hear it finally because I had tried all the antidotes and knowing and getting so frustrated that none of them worked and that I couldn't hold on to any of the good things, that they would just evaporate. Because each time I remember something, some kind of good event or sensation would happen, and I'd say, ah, yes, now I'll be okay from here. And of course, absolutely everything that the teaching uh, expresses totally has been aligned with my experience. And as soon as I heard her say that, I said, I was so happy to hear someone tell me that because I thought I was afraid that that was what I was going to have to do. I was going to have to just have responsibility myself, and I was going to have to um, be imperturbable in this. I was going to have to. I love the talk where Candace Rinpoche describes the Buddha sitting there and just letting it all come and just allowing it. That hit home to me as such a perfect picture in my mind, so that when I rest, and believe me, ugh, I'm still, so much is coming up. I would say, and I could be wrong, this is just my layman's understanding, just from my subconscious, of very unpleasant, uh, painful thoughts, sensations, and so forth, memories, whatever. Um, and but I have that firmly in my mind that I am like the Buddha. I am sitting there and I am allowing it to be there, and I am knowing that it is there as awareness itself. It is nothing other than that energy of awareness itself, of the ground of being itself. And I might not be able to, what am I trying to say? Uh, uh, I'm still, I see myself as continually every day as a struggle. It's, I know for me, without a doubt, this is as Yakin just said, pinnacle teaching and method for dealing with this. And my heart just breaks for all the people around me who I see have no knowledge that they are caught up in data. Robert was talking about this, caught up in data, and they just don't even realize it. And it's so true. And so, oh man, I finally am able to see this, and I'm really grateful for this. This is the only way. every day, rest of my life, even through the night as I wake up and turn over, it's in my mind. And
Yes.
that's all. It just
Yeah.
Holly's statement about Rupert's spirit just brought me back to my most grateful initiation by my first teacher back in 1987. And what she kept saying, my job is that you don't need me anymore. It's not that you hold on to me forever. It's that you see that you don't need, So thank you, Holly.
Thank you, Jean. And I see you, Wendy. You said one more question. Yes, please.
Let me turn this on. Hi, thank you.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. I'm just going a little slower with the empowerments. I'm enjoying them very much. I'm still only on 3, but 3 just seems to me like why do you need anything beyond 3? It's so big. And I just wonder if that's okay. If the timing is like I think you had mentioned maybe people were doing them 1 a week, and is it okay to take your time and when you're ready to move to the next one, to move to the next one?
Yes, that's fine. I mean, 1 a week is like doing the 12 empowerments in 3 months. We sometimes suggest that, but everyone takes a different pace, and it's also good. Some go quicker, but most go slower, and you can do it in all kinds of ways. Empowerment 3 is a nice empowerment to settle in. 1, 2, and 3 are very depthful in terms of the foundation, but they are more than that. They are, in your experience, a foundation of rest, which is powerful because 4 to 9 goes into it even more. So it's the perfect place to rest and to deepen. Yes, and to take your time.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we suggest then not to put it a half a year in between. I don't make an extreme now, but it can be, some do and pick it up again. But which is fine until you feel, but it's great to. So yes, it's fine to take
Yeah.
your time and be in touch and come here is perfect.
Thank you. Because I do notice when I've read it several times, I've listened to it many times, and I get something different either way, whichever I'm doing. And then of course, taking short moments. And then in listening to Candace, I noticed yesterday in listening to Candace, I noticed immediately when I stumbled upon her on YouTube, wow, this is truth. But but there's a lot of terminology that now I'm understanding with so much more depth of from the teachings, and that when I listen to her now, it's just mind blowing how rich it is, how diamond pure, and yet each statement so rich. So
Yes. I mean, this will be forevermore, just to say. I mean, even after so many years, I read in groups the 12 empowerment texts. For me, still, like we read something, I think, wow, that's absolutely beautiful. Have I ever read it? Basically, yes, 100 times, but it's like it's another depth to it. So you see in your experience, and so, but that isn't a reason why to go quick or slow, right? It's like it's just gonna be forever. Yeah, a richness in that, which is beautiful.
that's
But
nice to hear.
enjoy that, and it will be forevermore. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you. Well, thank you all. I guess we'll pause here for today. That was wonderful. Thank you for sharing and asking and being here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
rest of your day, everybody.